Good evening from the Noob Gamers team. We are live for another race for the Sunday stream. We're bringing you race 2 of the Formula Rookie Championships this evening. And you can join us for every second of the action by sticking with us here live on Twitch, on your mobile phones, on your PCs, on your big projector screens, however you are watching this tonight. Thank you for joining us for what should be an amazingly exciting race in these fragile as anything Formula Rookie vehicles around one of the tightest tracks in the entire game. Only one thing can happen, and that is absolute carnage. But, of course, if we want to find out exactly what's going to happen, well, you've got to stick with us here. And I'm not the only one in the commentary box again, because I am joined by the one, the only. It is Ilium. He's back.
Good evening. Thanks very much for having me back.
No worries. How are you, my friend?
Yeah, a bit frantic. It's all a bit of a last-minute replacement. I am
Yes.
but it's all very exciting.
All very exciting indeed. Yes. Unfortunately, Jimmy H Official, the normal co-commentator on a Sunday, was unable to make it this evening. So Jamie was drafted in at the last minute, and thankfully he's able to make it. So he's with me in the commentary box to bring you all the action. And Jamie, I mean, Long Beach is mental. The Formula Rookie cars are made of paper. It's going to be carnage, isn't it?
Is full damage on?
Full damage is on, so you can literally lose all 4 wheels tonight, I think.
So we've got 23 drivers, it looks like.
Yep.
Odds in the chat for how many are going to finish the race, I think would be a fascinating one.
No idea. Now, the good news is they kicked off straight away. We're straight into qualifying for the first sprint race. So it's just a quick 10-lap race. So we'll head straight over to qualifying now to catch up on all the action. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. So here we are. We are straight into qualifying. We are not messing around this evening, bringing you all the action straight away. Thank you for joining us, everyone at home, and we are on board with a Noob Gamer regular, and that is Mad Knife, just making his way around this Long Beach track. And you can see already how narrow these streets are, Jamie, with 26 cars this evening herring around all these bends. I mean, surely we're not going to have a race with everyone finishing, are we?
Well, I mean, I put the question out there a second ago. Already in chat, we've got Muddy Squid saying 5. Now, I don't know if he means he thinks there's going to be 5 finishing or 5 people retiring. Either way, pretty crazy. Yeah.
Rob just saying 13 he thinks he's going for this evening, so, you know, half the pack.
Half the field gone.
But I mean, me and you, we took to this track last night in touring cars, which were a little bit more robust. We wanted to get to grips with the track, just to see what it's all about. I mean, we were losing bits of our car in touring cars. Now, they're actually made of, you know, something that resembles metal. These things, they've been likened to twiglets, paper, we've had it all. So they don't take much to start losing bits of the car, do they?
No, they don't. As you can see, there's not much on them to start with, to be honest with you. So there's not much to lose.
No, exactly. So yeah, we're just under 2 minutes remaining of qualifying already. Mad Knife leading the pack with a 1:59. But yeah, not long for these guys to get a decent time in for what is, it's of course on a Sunday. It's a slightly different format to a Thursday. You know, we have 2 races this evening. So we start off with a sprint race, which is a 10-lap race with the winner getting 15 points. And then we move on to a 30, full laps, I think it's around 30 minutes feature race with 25 points up for grabs. So, you know, loads of points up for grabs in the entire evening. T-Mac currently leads the way on the championship with 40 points, with Don Tito in second with 20 points. Jimmy Tulipan in third with 18. So some really top competitors leading the pack at the moment. But with 26 cars with these vehicles as well, you know, I really think anything can happen. And the boy Bibby from Thursday night, Jamie, looks like he's leading the race early doors with a 1:30 there.
Yeah, he had a cracking race on Thursday, didn't he? And he's Don Tito straight up there as well. Just an interesting one, actually. This view on these cars on this track really just show you just how close to the wall they're getting if they want to get a good, decent time out of this. I mean, look at that. Any mistakes there? It's like, you know, fractions, isn't it?
That is so tight. I mean, the good news for these cars for the drivers, you know, although they've got the downside of getting close to the walls and losing bits, actually the visibility when you're in the cockpit is so much greater than your traditional car on this game because of the open wheel format and the types of cars that they are. So, you know, pros and cons for sure. But you know, we're on board with Don Titor now. He's just weaving around the track, currently in second place. He's doing pretty well for himself. And at the moment, I'm just trying to see who else we've got in the pack. So Seb H is regular on here. Drux has just popped up to second place, with Roy Klops up in third now. So some last-minute changes to the grid for what is sure to be an absolutely crazy sprint race. Just 10 laps, and it is going to be all go, go, go. There's no point in holding back, is there?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's quite a few with such a short qualifying that haven't actually managed to find a clean lap, including what I would imagine is the race favourite, T-Mac.
Yeah, T-Mac leads the championship at the moment. 40 points he's got at the moment. He's 20 points ahead after race 1. But yeah, if he's not managed to get himself a time down, he's going to have to fight through all these
down in 22nd.
So yeah, it's just going to be a completely different race to what we saw on Thursday, I think. But also, don't forget, this is the same track that we've got next Thursday in the touring car, so it's going to be really interesting to compare the two, having one after the other. So it certainly should be pretty good fun. But let's have a look on the chat. Not Benjamin says haircut and a suit. Of course, you've got to make an effort for this channel. I'm always in a suit, Benjamin. Come on, Sam. You should have watched this enough times for now. Muddy Squid says finishing from the races earlier. Turn 1 will be fun times. Rob Mack says they look like bathtubs, and it's good evening from Took. Hello Took, of course, a racer with us. Most of those guys races with us on a Thursday, tuning in, and your support is of course very much welcome. But it looks like, Jamie, we're not far away now from the race, and we've got a change at the top. Ayrton Benner, new racer to the new Gamer Stream. I'm not sure if we've seen him before, but yeah,
he's popped that one in late doors there.
Really late doors. So it's Ayrton Benner in 1, Don Titor 2nd, Jimmy Tulipan in 3rd. As we head over to the race now. So here we go. My beautiful assistant has just brought me a drink because we're running a bit late this evening. Cheers, everyone. It's not alcohol, I'm afraid. It's orange squash, going absolutely nuts here in the New Gamer Studio.
Oh, I've gone blackcurrant squash myself.
Blackcurrant squash. I mean, we are absolutely
it's controversial.
Cray, yeah, absolutely immense. So here we go. 10 laps as Johnny One joins the pack on Twitch chat, saying evening everyone, and Rolfie said he's scared for the next touring cars race, and I would
be as
well.
Rolfie.
Yeah, he should be. We tried it last night with 26 people using AIs, me, you and Jimmy, and it was hairy to say the least.
Yeah, that's all I'll say.
That's all you'll say.
I
here we
wait.
go anyway.
All I say is I can't wait.
No, I can't wait. I mean, this tonight is going to be just as mental, in fairness.
Oh yeah,
but we'll see. So yeah, we are.
I think they'd be more cautious.
Well, you'd like to think so, but I mean, with points up for grabs, why not go for it? So here we go, we're sinking. We're coming into this first corner of this first 10-lap sprint race, and we are go, 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 go. As Ayrton Benner makes his way off the line, it's Don Titor in second, also making good pace off the line, as Bob Hump joins us up and said, good luck, guys, to everyone. But here we go. Good driving from Don Titor to just nip in front to take first place at the moment, and as the pack there, we know it's hard on the brakes into this first left-hand corner. It is a tight one, and they've gone round it quite smoothly there, to be fair. No mess-ups at the moment, so that's some good driving from these guys. As we come round what we can safely class as the roundabout, and we've got a spin towards the back, and it's causing a bit of blockages back there, but most people have managed to avoid it. Some good driving there from everyone to avoid what could have been absolutely catastrophic for the entire pack. But Jamie, pretty clean so far for the top 3.
There was one, for the top 3, absolutely. There was one, I don't know who it was. He was in the top 5, I think. Went sideways and lost a wheel. I saw just flying across the track. That roundabout is absolutely chaos with more than a few cars going through.
It's almost stupid, isn't it? Lovely camera there from our side track camera crew, but it's still a decent number of cars. As we saw someone just smash into the back of the wall right at the back of the pack there. But Bibby currently in 5th place, sort of got people in front of him, people behind. Lots of races close together. Someone's gone wide in front of him as well. Looks like Jimmy Tulipan went a little bit wide in front of him. But wow, and there's lots of close combat going here straight away. So we're on board of Area Motorsport in 4th. Jimmy Tulipan just in front with Don Titor, Jamie. And early doors, Ayrton Benner looks like he's made himself a little bit of headway.
Yeah, he did well actually. He actually got taken off the line, but he's managed to get that place back, and he's holding Don Titor about a second behind, which is all you can hope for at this stage of the race.
Yeah, really good. Look how close these cars. Oh my days! We have lost. Wow, wow, wow. I think Don Tito's been sent into orbit there. He's been absolutely destroyed. I mean, the rest of his car.
He's in the runoff.
He's lost his complete back end of that. That was absolutely crazy. We should be getting a replay of that now coming onto your screens. But yeah, I think Don Tito's race, to be fair, it's not over. I don't know how he's kept all the tyres on. But he's now well down the pack in 12th place, so nowhere near the top where he was. As he takes someone out on the going around the corner there, I think he's taken out Cheeky once.
That's anger.
Yeah, I think there's a bit of anger, Jackson. As we just see on the replay now, 2 nudges, and it just sends him absolutely flying. We're on board with T-Mac now, who's currently in 13th place, so well down the pack at the moment. But yeah, that was, that's how easy it is to send these cars all over the place, isn't it, Jamie?
Yeah, it is. I mean, it looks like we're down to 19 already from 23, so we've lost 4. T-Max managed to come from 22nd up to 13th, taking advantage of the absolute chaos. But Don Tito's car there, I'm going to see if we can find it again. He hasn't got any kind of engine covering anymore. It's just completely exposed. I mean, cooling won't be an issue for him at least, so that's good.
Yeah, he's made some gains there. He's done well. He's got some really good pace going down there. He's really going for it. So he's down in 11th place, pushing Cheeky One Smack in 10th. It's the top 8 places in this first race that get points, so that's where you want to be this evening. Let's summarise the top 8 at the moment. So we've got Artem Benner in first place, Azaria Motorsport second, Seb H in third, Jimmy Tulipan fourth, Captain Callie, who we're on board with now in fifth, with Mr. Salt just behind in sixth. It's Roy Klops in seventh with Sin in eighth. So that's the top 8 at the moment. These boys are all in the points. Captain Callie pushing hard to Jimmy Tulipan with Mr. Salt just behind. So we've got a nice little pack here of racers for 5th, 6th at the moment. And it looks to be, with only still 7 laps left, we should really get some good racing for the rest of the race.
Yeah, I mean, we've already seen the amount of little just touches off the wall, accidentally, those little scuffs of dirt coming up. It's so easy to do, and on these cars, like we said, you're just going to wreck your suspension. Quick shout out to Rolfie. Thanks, mate. Thanks for having my back. Bob, I'll remember that.
Not very nice in the chat there from Bob, We can always
remember that on Thursday, Bob.
Yeah, remember that on Thursday. We'll just start hammering him on the chat. So we're on board with Roy Klops. Roy Klops in 7th place at the moment. And it looks like someone in front has lost the wheel entirely. I'm not sure who that is.
I think it's a back marker.
Work it out, yeah. It's got to be a back marker. We can't see many change, but someone's obviously smashed into a wall there or had some sort of crash. As Odyssey joins the chat, welcome to you this evening. Captain Callie going in hard with Mr. Salt on the inside. Does well to avoid him, but I thought he was going to lose a tyre there. He's done so well to keep that front left there. So he's lost a place to Mr. Salt, but more importantly, he's kept himself in the race there, Jamie, and that could have been a lot worse.
Absolutely, yeah. Mr. Salt is he's up to 5th. He's having a good race. He's being aggressive, but people don't like it. Here he goes again.
So he's slipstreaming really well, Jimmy Tulipan at the moment. This corner's, they've got to go hard on the brakes round to this left now. So it's nice and clean from these two at the moment. I thought Mr. Salt was going to go straight into the wall there. And the roundabout's been causing a lot of problems, as you can see, with just a tyre sat in the middle of the roundabout.
Just a wheel there.
just casually sat there. So Mr. Salt, although Captain Callie again into the wall, and just in front of Mr. Salt, Jimmy Tulipan's having issues, and he's been spun sideways by Mr. Salt. The two of them come together. Mr. Salt manages to get away, but Captain Callie takes full advantage, and so does Roy Klops, jumping ahead of those two there. A little spin, and they've lost 2 places.
Yeah, I think that was, and he might lose another one actually from Sin, who's catching up here. I think that was a nudge from Mr. Salt. It looked like we'll have to have a replay there. It looks perhaps a touch too aggressive.
Trying to get a replay on the screens now for everyone at home. But yeah, we're on board with Sin at the moment, who's just in behind Jimmy Tulipan, who's lost a few places there from that collision with Mr. Salt. As it looks like, I wonder if that's the same back marker who was there earlier.
No, it's a different colour.
So we're just on board with Sin now. He's really pushing hard. I think we just missed it on the replay, unfortunately, but it's on your screens now as Mr. Salt managed to get away. We've got a spin in front, and that looks like, I'm not sure who that is. Again, it could be a back mark. I've not seen any changes to the top 8 again. So again, lots of back markers all over the place at the moment, but Mr. Salt doing okay in 6th place at the moment. Roy Klops and Captain Callie took advantage of that little spin, currently in 4th and 5th. It looks like it's some really tight battles all over the place at the moment. So Roy Klops trying to make a move on the inside here. Does really well. There's a little coming together, but they both get away with it. Some great driving. So these three really going out. But there is a nudge there in the back of Roy Klops. Doesn't send him into the wall or anything. So again, gets away with it a little bit, Captain Callie. Doesn't cause too many issues. But these three in 4th, 5th and 6th really, really going at it. So we've got a nice little race on our hands for 4th, 5th and 6th place at the moment. We've got a little spin round in the background and someone's just ploughed straight into the wall. And I think that's, I mean, it looks like Jimmy Tulipan is not. It looks like VXR Thrasher as he goes flying down, and it looks like he's left the race actually. So I think it's VXR Thrasher there going straight into the wall down the back. But we're back on board with Captain Callie. He's lower down the pack in 6th place.
Mr. Salt's made the move.
Mr. Salt's made a great move ahead with Roy Klops in 4th. We're trying to bring you a replay of that crash in the background that happened there for VXR Thrasher. But these two really going at it, which is really, really good to see. So you can just see it now. He comes into the wall and bang, there the car goes from VXR Thrasher. Unbelievable scenes there. You know, just couldn't. It didn't look like much connection between cars, but just lost it straight into a wall. But these three, Jamie, is hotting up to be a really good race.
It's a great battle, yeah. I mean, I did want to call out the excellent move Roy Klops made on Callie, I think, probably a lap or two ago now, but there's been so much action we haven't had a chance. But into the first corner off the main straight, he made a lovely late braking move on the inside, and it's got him this 4th position, which he's now trying to hold.
Yeah, he's doing really well in 4th place at the moment, fending off the charges from Mr. Salt and Captain Callie, who are really hot on his tail. And I think any mistake here, and they'll snap up that place straight away. So it's just 4 laps to go, not long left of the competition. As you can see from the lap times, you know, we're talking about minute and a half, just over a minute and a half mark for a lap. So still plenty of time left in this race for these boys to start making some moves. Thank you for joining us here if you've joined us live on Twitch. Really appreciate you guys joining us here this evening. For this is the first race of the evening. This is the quick 10-lap sprint race, and then we'll head straight on to a really long feature race after that. But 15 points up for grabs at the moment. It's Ayrton Benner in 1st place at the moment, Area Motorsport in 2nd, Seb H in 3rd. There's some decent sized gaps between the top 3 at the moment, although it looks like Seb H isn't too far off Area Motorsport in 2nd, so doing okay. The battle up there's, you know, not too bad. A little bit of a gap between them at the moment, so we're on board with Seb H, as we can see, just in behind Area Motorsport. So, you know, the gap is decent enough to catch up, and with just 3 laps to go, there might still be time for us to see some changes at the top. But it looks like 1st place, Ayrton Benner at the moment, well ahead of the pack, and I think it's going to take some sort of issue from him further up the pack to make any issues there. But we're back on board, as you can see, with Don Tito. Don Tito's done really well after spinning over his car, making a move on Jimmy Tulipan here, it seems, and he's up to 7th place now. So he's got himself back in the points, Jamie, after what was a pretty crazy crash early doors.
Yeah, I'm not really sure, to be honest, how he's still going. The damage must have been absolutely crazy, but he seems to not have lost any pace. He's now has a great recovery drive.
Yeah, I mean, I, for one, have absolutely no idea how he's kept all 4 wheels on the car from that crash earlier, but fair play to him. He's done really, really well. But it looks like the chase for 4th place at the moment. Captain Callie slowly falling off the pace, so it looks like it might be a 2-horse race unless he can start pushing up, but the gap between them is over a second now between those 2 cars. So Mr. Salt and Roy Klops going really at it as we jump on board the camera, but it looks like there's a back marker pulling straight across, and they do really well to avoid him there. Great drive from the both to realise the danger and manage to escape what could have been almost a fatal crash with, you know, the car almost in the centre of the road. But Mr. Salt and Roy Klops do really well to avoid it. But Seb H is making gains on Area Motorsport here. He's pushing him really hard. It's just half a second splits them at the moment for what is the 2nd place race. And there's still time, you know, still 2 laps to go. Do we think he's going to have him here, Jamie? What are you saying?
Yeah, well, I don't know. He seems to be holding him at bay. He seems to get a good drive, enough of a drive off the last corner to get a breathing room on this final straight. Oh, that's probably done it.
The commentator's curse kicks in.
It is.
And he just broke
I'm going to
too
move on.
late on that corner. But Sin, up into 8th place now, has taken over Jimmy Tulipan there in 9th. So he's doing really, really well at the moment. But Jimmy Tulipan, who was up towards the higher places of this race, has certainly lost a lot of pace, but it looks like he's going to attack back here, and he's going to try and get the inside line into this first corner, but no, doesn't manage to get it, as Sin manages to hold that. So that's the race for the final points, positions and eights for this first race, remember. So it's just the top 8 for the sprint race that will get points. So these two are battling out for that final position. And unless something catastrophic happens between these two, I mean, I think it's just going to be one of those two for 8th place at the moment. So we've got some real battles going on up and down the pack at the moment. We're just about a lap and a half to go. And at the moment, Jamie, you know, some really good racing from everyone so far. And we haven't actually seen too much damage across the entire race. Not too many wheels flying.
Yeah.
And everyone's been pretty sensible so far.
We've lost 6 drivers, and it looks like Mad Knife has probably had some damage. He's about 7 minutes behind. What I would say is that Mr. Soltmitz, he's got the move done, which we missed off camera, unfortunately, but he is up to 4th, which is a great drive from him.
Really good, and it looks like Roy Klops has had some sort of issue. Roy Klops, if you remember, was in 4th place, and Mr. Salt and Captain Callie are now ahead of him now, as we can see Roy Klops just joining the picture back there at the moment. So as we were on board with one of the other races that we've got at the moment, it looks like Roy Klops has either made a mistake or there's been some sort of nudge, and he's fallen down the pack to 6th. So he was in 4th, remember, but now down in 6th. So you know, still in the points, but he's probably going to be disappointed with that, Jamie.
He probably is, and Mr. Salt's pulling away a decent gap now. I think he's, with only 2 laps to go, he's probably got a solid 4th place. We should probably have a just quick look at the leader, Ayrton Bennett. We haven't mentioned him at all because he's been so comfortable just out front, controlling the race.
Doing really well, over 4 seconds ahead now of Area Motorsport in second. You know, it's been a fantastic race from him. Of course, started top of the grid from qualifying, so did really well to make sure he secured that spot. And you know, he did have a little challenge from Don Tito early doors, but has managed to pull away now and is a really good distance ahead of the pack. So just, you know, not long left to go, and you have to say, unless something mad happens, he's going to win this first race of the evening. But we're back on board with Don Tito. He's up to 7th place now. Jimmy Tulipan has dropped right back down into 11th, so we've lost Jimmy Tulipan. He's really been struggling with the pace towards the latter stages of this race, but Don Tito and Sin now take 7th and 8th spot, which are the final 2 places. So they might, Jamie, at this point be thinking, okay, we're in the points, no need to push it hard. But you know, if you were in the Sin seat right now, are you thinking you want to keep going as hard as you can to try and get a bigger place?
Sin is, Sin is, he's quite far behind this battle for 6th and 7th, I'd say. I think Don Tito, here he comes now. He's angry from that earlier crash, and he's driving very well to recover.
Yeah, it could be risky though. We're in the last lap now, remember. If he does anything silly here and takes them both out, or even himself out, of course they both might miss out on some points, but it looks like they're going to race all the way down to the wires. Don Tito is absolutely right up behind Roy Klops at the moment. You know, we know Don Tito's got the pace, qualified 2nd place for this sprint race, but has all sorts of issues with crashes and nudges throughout the race, but has done really well to get himself in 7th, and it looks like he's not going to stop until this race is done, Jamie.
Yeah, absolutely. A shout out for T-Mac as well, still in 13th, hasn't managed to make it. Oh, now 14th, it's just been overtaken. Hasn't managed to make it any further up the grid, so a bit of a surprise. He may have obviously received some damage somewhere along the line, so I'm looking forward to finding out exactly what's happened to him now.
Yeah, T-Mac you know, didn't manage to put a decent time in qualifying. Remember, he's the championship leader at the moment, but down in 14th place at the moment. Led to believe T-Mac's got some setup issues this evening, having to use a internet connection over 4G through various house issues and things, so that could be causing him some issues this evening. And I know he wasn't expecting big things from tonight, especially, but even so, you know, he's still got. We know he's got the ability, but obviously couldn't quite bring it to light. As we're just watching, these guys should be over the line now, but Don Tito's going to try and just make his way through, but no. Well done there, and it looks like we might have a little bit of action in the chat. Area Motorsport putting some messages out there about an earlier crash, asking to watch some replays or something. But for me, Jamie, the only crash really we saw was the big smash from Don Tito early doors, sent flying in the air.
Yeah, that was a particular bad one. There was a few early doors, so we can't catch them all with this many cars on the track. So I imagine we've probably missed a couple. Wouldn't surprise me if there's a bit of unhappiness. But generally, what I would say also, especially considering on Thursday we had such an issue with back markers causing havoc, back markers in this race were excellent largely.
Yeah, we had a real problem with back markers on Thursday, but as you said, they don't seem to have caused any issues here tonight, moving out of the way from what we saw, with the exception of the one that seemed to have a bit of a crash. But here we go. Here's the race results from the first race, and it's Artem Bena in first, it's Area Motorsport second, Seb H third, Mr. Salt fourth, Captain Cali fifth, Roy Klopp sixth, Don Tito seventh, eighth is Sin, Cheeky One Smack 9, and Berserker in 10th. So some really good racing there from those boys. They've done really, really well. Let's have a quick save of that replay, but let's head back to the studio now and dissect that, Jamie. So not a bad start for the first race, not many cars lost. And Artem Bena leading the way so far. Good racing from him.
Yeah, so did you say earlier he's a new driver to the competition, is he?
So he's a new, yeah, I don't think he was in race, don't think he could make it week 1, but he did put his name down and has of course made it for week 2, and you know, coming straight in, first qualifying first in the first race, he's got to be really happy with that.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah, fantastic performance. I mean, he was untroubled really, wasn't he? He made the start, he lost the place initially to Don Tito off the line, didn't he? Yes. But seemed to get it back really quickly, and then after that, just no issues at all.
Yeah, it was really, really good racing from him in its entirety. But yeah, that is race 1 done this evening, ladies and gents. Race 1 is now complete. That is the sprint race, which is a 10-lap quick race. And now we move on to the feature race, which is longer qualifying, longer race, more chance for lots of action for us to bring you live to your mobile phones, to your PCs, however you're watching this this evening. But certainly some interesting chat going on from the races I can see in the lobby, all sorts going on. We obviously missed more than we probably wanted to, but of course with that many cars on the track it is almost impossible for us to catch everything. But we caught a lot of really good racing, lots of clean spirited attempts from everyone to get round people. You know, I certainly didn't see anything I would call foul play throughout that, Jamie, and generally I think that was quite a clean race.
Yeah, but from what we saw, there wasn't too much controversy, was there? I mean, some people are always obviously going to be a bit unhappy. I'm sure it'll all get sorted out, and everyone will be fine and ready to go for the next one.
Exactly there. So hopefully the guys are just getting themselves set now, but qualifying for the feature race. Of course, same track, same cars, same carnage that could potentially happen. But with qualifying, of course, you know, it's a chance to get higher up the grid. And really, Jamie, you do not want to be mid-pack or towards the back in this race, do you?
Well, we saw the current championship leader before this round didn't manage to get a lap in. He was penalised by having to start really far down, and I'm not sure what happened, whether he took some damage in the pack, but he just wasn't able to get back up there.
Exactly right. I mean, you know, there's not a lot of room to get around in. All right, there's a few straights you can really put your foot down, try slipstreaming people getting past, but with so many tight corners and I guess the bunching of the cars ahead, you know, there's really not a lot of room. And of course, you can't just go marching through the pack like in touring cars, where you can probably nudge a few people out the way. If you try nudging people in these cars, you're probably going to end up just as bad off yourself.
Exactly. Yeah. No, a fascinating one actually. So it just shows how important this qualifying is.
Exactly right. So hopefully we're not far away now from qualifying. There's a few drivers just joining back into the lobby, ready for the race ahead. I think they're having a quick break, of course, because they go qualifying straight to race, which is you know, nearly an hour's worth of time. So they might just be preparing themselves, getting themselves a drink, popping off to the loo if they need to, as you'd expect with, you know, if you were watching races live. They're not going to make races just sit in the same car for hours on end without any quick breaks. So they're just doing that now. And hopefully we can, you know, it won't be long before we bring in the next race. But before that, of course, this stream generally is sponsored by wolfies.co.uk. They've given us their support for all the streams we've done so far here at Noob Gamers. So, of course, it would be remiss of us not to give them a little shout out this evening as we give you a little message from them this evening. So there we go, a little message from our sponsors there, wolfies.co.uk. We really appreciate all the support they've given us on this stream so far. Of course, without their support, we might not well be here. You know, they've done some really, really good work. Remember, you can catch up with all the products they have on offer at wolfies.co.uk. They have, of course, just released their new vegan line. So if you are a vegan, and I know Jamie, you're a fan of Wolfies porridge, you know, certainly some good stuff.
I'm not a vegan, but I'm a huge fan of the porridge, and I've been promised by the main man himself that the vegan version of the porridge is even creamier than the normal one. So I'm excited to try it.
Yeah, and that stuff's I'm told is coming out fairly soon. So, and it looks like, Jamie, we did have a countdown on my screen there.
Oh no!
And now the countdown's gone, so it looks like it's just some last-minute adjustments. But the countdown has started again, so we are now just moments away from what should be a really exciting qualifying session. And of course, we'll bring you all the action from qualifying as we do, as always, on your screen right now. So let's head over to trackside and watch us get ready for what is the qualifying session of the feature race. Again round Long Beach, again in the Formula Rookies, and again plenty of action ahead. So here we go. So qualifying underway. 10 minutes, of course, is all we have for qualifying for the feature race, but it is double the time we had for the sprint race. So, you know, with lap times around the 1:30 mark, still plenty of time to get some laps down, Jamie. But, you know, how important do you think it is qualifying for this big race?
Well, we've just seen, haven't we, that in the sprint race it was vitally important. So in this one, even more so, I'd say. It really does, you know, it's a very tight track, and despite that really long straight, the way that last corner's designed coming onto the straight, it is not easy to get the slipstream and overtake someone.
No, the last corner on this track, of course, you know, that horrible 180 bend, where you've almost got to stop your car to get around it, it would seem. And as you said, to get some pace off that corner is really, really difficult. And of course, you know, you might well go full throttle down that big old straight, but at the end of it, you've got a nasty little left-hand turn as well, so you've got to be quite careful and pick your battles wisely, haven't you?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Absolutely. It'd be interesting to see how Don Tito can do. Because he seems like he had some serious pace. If he could manage to stay out of the walls this time, then he could be a contender.
Yeah, Don Tito, of course, qualified in second place for the sprint race that we had, was doing really well, was up at the pack early doors, but got a nudge while he was in second place, actually, and sent him spinning, not only spinning up in the air, but spiralling down the race leaderboard as well. But you're right in what you said, Jamie. You know, he's got some serious pace about him, so if he can get up there early doors and avoid collisions this time around, we could hopefully see a real challenge to Ayrton Benner in first place.
Yeah, although saying, you know, Ayrton, if he can just basically repeat what he did last time, he looked comfortable almost, you could say, out front. Yeah,
although, you know, I think he was fortunate that the crash happened just behind him with Don Tito in second at the time. You know, those three lost some serious time because of that collision, which gave him that space. We've not really seen him challenged yet, of course.
Okay.
You know, there is a challenge, of course, in qualifying to a point, but it's not like a proper race, of course. You know, I'd be interested to see him with pressure from some racers around him, just to see if he's got, I guess, the mental stability to continue.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. There's something to be said for driving just smoothly and consistency whilst the chaos is going on all around you, much like we saw with Mr. Salt the other day to take the victory. But yeah, like you say, bit of pressure, who knows. It'd be interesting to see what T-Mac can do.
Yeah, hopefully, you know, he was leading the championship ahead of this, you know, 20 points clear of Don Tito, actually, who we were speaking about just then, but not in the points from the first race. We know, you know, we know he's got the ability. Every single Sunday stream we've done so far, he has literally won every single race. So that's the first race, actually, on a Sunday that he's not even, you know, he's not even come into the points. So he has certainly have a point to prove in this feature race, and I can imagine he's going to qualify quite high this time.
Well, like you said, it may be connection issues for him, but he really did seem to struggle.
But there we go, the first times have been put down. It's Ayrton Benner taking first place straight off the bat with Jimmy Tulipan again, you know, up there in second. And again, Jimmy Tulipan's another one who is seriously got the pace. You can see that from his times in qualifying. But, you know, he had a few knocks and bumps in that last race and fell right down the pack in the end and couldn't really challenge for the top. But, you know, it could be another dark horse for the race ahead.
Yeah, well, that's how easy it is, isn't it? If you get that little knock, or you're just unlucky enough to be in the wrong place at the wrong time, your race is ruined.
Yeah, it really is as simple as that. But while qualifying is, the times are starting to come in. Once again, thank you for joining us here live on Noob Gamers. This is, of course, race 2 of the Formula Rookie Championships. We have done the sprint race, and we're now doing qualifying of the big feature race ahead, which of course should be an absolutely thrilling contest. But it looks like, Jamie, 14 drivers now put some times down, and it's Ayrton Bennett leading the way again, so he's doing really, really well so far tonight.
Yeah, I mean, one I've just seen popping up in third there, Bibby, who we talked about at the start there. And I don't think I noticed him at all in the actual race, because he was right up there in qualifying, so I'm not sure what happened to him. Whether he was one of the ones who was forced into early retirement through damage, perhaps.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah, that could have been the case. He was up there in qualifying. Of course, we've seen from his debut on Thursday night how quick a racer he is. We don't really know what he's got in the locker with these particular vehicles, but generally on Project Cars 2, he's a really, really quick racer. Up in 4th place at the moment, and again, could be another contender to really put pressure on Ayrton Bennett in 1st place this evening.
Yeah, we've seen T-Mac. He's finally managed to get himself a clean lap in, straight up into 2nd. But Ayrton Bennett again, the only man tonight that's dipped into the 129s. Still. Oh, no, until now.
And until now, there's Drux. So Drux again,
good timing. Every
single Sunday we see Drux up and around the top 5 in qualifying, all the time. But once again in that race, just as I say that, and that literally sums it up, right? That literally sums up Drux's luck on this stream. He's always up there, he's always got decent pace, but he always falls foul of some sort of crash, some sort of contact, some sort of error, either by himself or people around him, which takes him out of the race. And we saw him actually drop out of the race last time through exactly that. But he's always up there in qualifying, but we've never quite seen him transfer that to points yet. So maybe this could be his night.
Well, what we've seen now is, as obviously, of course, is what happened. As soon as I said that, now there's 3 people in the 129s, naturally. But really what it does show is how many really quick guys we got up there. Mr. Stolt as well, only fraction off, 130.2, a great lap.
Yeah, really good stuff. So 3 people now in the 129 club as Ayrton Bennett skips ahead of Drux in 2nd. So there's a real fight. And Jimmy Tulipan joins the magical crew. And as I say that, we've got T-Mac is now ahead of the pack.
Oh my!
And it's topsy-turvy with only just over 3 minutes left. And we've got a real fight on our hands for 1st place. So T-Mac doing really well, and he's nearly in the 128 club with that lap.
Unbelievable. Well, if he dips into that, then I can say, there's only one person in the 128 club, so I'll be all right again.
Yeah, exactly. So, T-Mac at the moment, a 2nd ahead of Mr. Salt, who earlier on we were saying how good his lap was, but he's a 2nd behind T-Mac at the moment, which is unbelievable.
That's fantastic. 129.1. I mean, he's probably plugged the right thing in now. He's realised he had to plug the pedals in, and he's away.
He's away indeed. But let's have a look on the chat while we're watching this. So, some memories certainly from the last few races from Odyssey, Bob Mack and Rolfie. But not Benjamin says, after watching this, I don't think I'm going to make it to the end in the next touring cars race. And Bob Hump says T-Mac took some protein and away he goes. So yes, T-Mac certainly on something compared to race number 1. And he's leading the pack as Bibby joins the fray in 2nd place. And Ayrton Bennett, interestingly, now down to 4th. So he's got a real battle on his hands for 1st place for this race, Jamie.
Yeah, I mean, look how close it is. Apart from now, no one can get near that T-Mac time. But, as I said that again, what's wrong with me? It's like the commentator's prediction that Ayrton Bennett goes 1/10 off. Unbelievable.
Yeah, it is topsy-turvy here, all over the place. There's 2 minutes left still a time for people to get, a decent lap down, and I wonder if we're going to see any changes. But these guys are really, really battling. We were calling out, the 130s as being a great time. We've now got 7 people in the 129 club. T-Mac are knocking on the door of the 128 club. And, if this is anything to go by, the race itself is going to be absolutely madness.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Yeah, fantastic. What a start this is going to be. My only concern is, it seems likely that we're probably going to lose 1 or 2 of these really quick guys in that first couple of corner chaos, which you never like to see, but, it seems likely based on what happened before. That roundabout corner, this one right here, just, with 3 or 4 cars abreast going through there, it's just madness.
Yeah, that is the problem. I mean, there is good driving, but you know, how good are you going to be driving to even keep this clean with all these quick races going for it? And I think we've got to stop featuring Drux on this stream, because every time he's on the camera, he has some sort of crash or some sort of smash.
He just knows.
Dom Titor in 6th place at the moment with a 1:29. Again, he'd be probably happy with that time, but been absolutely blown away by T-Mac. Not Benjamin 2010 says, how many racing? Jamie, I'm sure you can confirm the exact numbers for us this evening.
Looks like we got 22 currently, which is one less than the first race. So seems someone's had some issues and dropped out. So 22 guys going straight in. Of course, we're expecting 26 for the touring cars on Thursday. Like we said earlier, we gave that a little go, didn't we? Me, you, and Jimmy. And even with the AI filling out the other 23, it was just absolute madness.
Indeed, and I'll give you your moment to shine, Jamie, as you can see what's happened at the top of the pack now. T-Mac joined this very special club, and I'll let you introduce that one.
Thank you, T-Mac, the only man in the 128s.
So, I mean, that is unbelievable driving on T-Mac.
What a lap! What a lap!
128 for qualifying. There's 8 seconds left, and there's. I mean, I'm going to say it. There's absolutely no way anyone's getting anywhere near that.
I mean, he's half a second clear.
Yeah, that is just incredible. So, of course, T-Mac not making the top 8 for the first race, but well ahead of the pack in first. And he's really put a marker down for this feature race ahead. Bob Hump says, yeah, tyres must be warming up something or fuel going down. It gets quicker and quicker. Exactly right, you know. As we see these times dropping and dropping and dropping, you know, the tyres are certainly getting warmer. The fuel's starting to drop out, which of course makes the cars a little bit faster. But you know, regardless of that, Jimmy Tulipan there just taking a spin. Regardless of that, I mean, some unbelievable techers generally from T-Mac to pull off a 1:28.7. Unbelievable.
Yeah, I think am I right in saying that the qualifying session for the second race is 5 minutes longer than the first one? Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So that extra time's just given them the chance to really get in the groove and put these fantastic things down.
Exactly right.
Not Benjamin says T-Mac toggled the T-Mac win setting this time. Yeah, he's done well there.
Indeed, yeah, he's certainly going for it. But we're on board with YX. YX in 12th place at the moment, so about mid-pack at the moment. YX, of course, has been on the stream a couple of times and is a really strong racer. But this evening, you know, we've got some amazingly quick people in these cars. I don't think. I mean, I'm gonna put this out there, Jamie, but I think this is probably one of the strongest top 10s we've seen, especially with in these vehicles that we've seen, that we've ever had on Noob Gamers so far.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, the times. I mean, Mr. Soul, he's put a 1:30.1 in, which he was probably thinking that's a cracking lap. He's ended up 10th.
Yeah. I mean, I know it might have upset you know, a few people watching the stream this evening, especially, you know, with Bob Hunt, I imagine, lurking on, but. You know, we have got some really good races on a Thursday, but this top 10 this evening, I mean, as Bob comes in the chat, I mean, all I'm going to say, Bob, is, you know, that is payment for you slagging us off in the other stream the other day. But there's the results from qualifying. T-Mac in first, is Ayrton Benner in second, and Bibby in third. So there's your top 3. But Bob always does try and make me laugh while I'm trying to commentate. You know, claiming I say things that I don't and all that sort of stuff, trying to get me to break. And hopefully that was my time to get one back on him. But Jamie,
I'm sure he's laughing now.
We're on board for the big race.
Here we go. And if T-Mac can make that clean start, get away like we saw Ayrton Benner did, with that pace, can we see anyone catching him?
It's going to be really tough. Really
tough, yeah.
I mean, he's got open road ahead of him. You know, some good drivers behind him, but with the open road ahead of him, if he can get away and avoid the chaos, he's got a really strong chance this evening as keeping it. But Rolfie says, you leave Ilium alone, Bob. Remember that.
Thanks, Rolfie. Cheers, mate. Top guy. Yeah. You've always been my favourite. I've always said that.
Fuck that guy, Bob says.
Bob's on. Bob, you've been drinking tonight, mate. You're right. You okay? Do you need to have a little chat? I think you need to cuddle.
So 20 laps, Jamie. We've had double the time in qualifying, double the race laps.
Let's do it.
It's going to be really exciting. I cannot wait. I mean, look at all those cars made of paper ready to go around this narrow track with walls all around it. I mean, wow. I'm excited.
I feel like their chance to get T-Mac is now at the start, despite the fact it's a longer race. I just feel like he's got that pace advantage when he's in the groove.
Bob's a violent milk drunk, says Bob.
Well, it would seem that way.
So here we go, we are moments away. Bob Hunt calling a Seb H victory. So he's putting his neck on the line for Seb H, who's currently down in 9th place at the moment. But here we go, syncing should appear on the screens now. There it is, and we are ready to go. The lights should be starting. So here we go, Jamie, for the feature race. And
go.
we're off. So T-Mac making his way, decent start from him so far. Ayrton Benner in second, Bibby in third, Area Motorsport in fourth. So they're going to be hard on the brakes into this first corner. But it looks like T-Mac's made a really good start, and there's a little bit of breathing space between him and the rest of the pack at the moment. But of course that could all change going into these next few corners. All these cars line up to go round. It's clean from T-Mac, and it's clean so far just from everyone else behind. Nothing major seen on your screen so far. We do have some spins that back there, and it looks like Jimmy Tulipan has had a spin towards the back, and we are going to try and get a replay of that. And there's a massive pile-up at the moment. Cars everywhere. Jimmy Tulipan in the middle of it. And, I mean, I don't know who else is in there. Jimmy Tulipan's trying to get out of it, and he somehow managed to carry on, but causing absolute carnage back there. We're on board with Mr. Salt, who is not even on my screen, so he must be less than 16th place. Well towards the back of the grid after that massive
17th,
massive carnage down towards the back, but we're getting a replay of the initial contact now from Jimmy Tulipan spinning. We're on board with Bibby in third at the moment, just in behind Ayrton Benner. But Jamie, again, the top three getting away from the pack.
Yeah, I mean, that is just that. We've seen that in that corner before, haven't we? If one car takes a spin in that tight roundabout corner, it just bunches the pack up. No one can get past. That was ridiculous. There was 5 or 6 cars just at a standstill, effectively.
Yeah, there was no point in them trying to barge their way through, because of course they would have probably come out worse. But the top three have got away really, really well. T-Mac in first, it's Ayrton Benner second, Bibby third, Area Motorsport fourth, with Drux just behind him fifth. So we've got a really solid top 5 at the moment. Seb H has done well to get himself up to 6th place. Of course, he qualified in 9th, so doing well, making gains on his initial qualifying time. But at the moment, T-Mac over half a second ahead of the pack that is forming. Of course, still a long time to go in this race, Jamie.
Yeah, so just to quickly call out of the guys from far up the grid that were caught up in that, Don Title's dropped right down to 21st. Mr. Salt dropped down to 14th. But most of the rest of them seem to get away with that. Drux, the man you mentioned earlier, he's managed to avoid all of that this time. I'm not going to click on his name because I don't want to curse him. But he's managed to keep it clean. But I mean, that's just bad luck there was 5 or 6 of them caught up there. There's nothing you can do. No, just absolute chaos.
Jimmy Tulipan, remember, qualified in 6th place, I believe. So that was 6th place, holding up basically the rest of the field in that corner. And so some people have done really well to get out of that mess and get away from that. But I'm just looking at the leaderboard now, and Mr. Salt's managed to get himself up to 11th, Mad Knife in 12th, Roy Klops in 13th, YX, Lang. So still some decent races managed to get through that carnage and are still pressing for a top 10 position. But we're on board with Bibby in the top 5 at the moment. A hardly split. There's really not a lot of times in it. But the first lap we can see there from T-Mac, he's put in a 1:29, and so is the rest of them as well. So the top 4 with a 1:29 on lap 2. And that's some fantastic racing from those guys to do that, and the race conditions as well. You've got to say, Jamie, that's absolutely fantastic.
With full fuel, that is. Look at this top 5. Absolute. This is good, setting us up for a fantastic race for these top 5. What I will just have a quick call out. Bob's pick for the race, Seb H. He's out already, unfortunately. So I'm sorry about that, Bob. Seb, I do apologise. I feel like that's Bob's fault somehow.
Yeah. So Seb H was actually up into 6th place at one point. So I'm not sure what's happened to Seb H there, but I wonder whether that might have been a connection issue or something like that, because we certainly didn't see any crashes. I mean, we're on board with Bibby, who's in 5th, so you'd like to think we would have seen something in and around this pack if something happened. But yeah, not sure what's going on with that. But yeah, as we were speaking there, Jamie, Took has subscribed for a 2nd month in a row to the new Gamer Stream, and of course that is very, very much appreciated from Took. Big up yourself. Of course, Took being a racer with us on a Thursday, but fantastic support for the channel there. And we're told Seb is in chat, so we could see if we can grab a word with him and find out what happened. I'm not sure whether, Jamie, you want to see go and speak to Seb and see how the land lies, perhaps to see if he wants to.
I think he's just saying he's in the voice chat. They mean in Twitch. He's just saying he's had issues with his setup, I think, and he wasn't able to drive. So that's really unfortunate. We're sorry about that, Seb.
Yeah, really unfortunate. It's never nice to lose people because of game problems or setup issues, but unfortunately there seems to be quite a few of them in Project Cars 2. It seems to happen quite regularly. But we're on board with Drux at the moment in 4th place. The top 4 at the moment looks like this: is T-Mac in 1st, is Ayrton Benner 2nd, Area Motorsport in 3rd, and Drux in 4th with VXR Thrasher a good 7 seconds behind in 5th. So he's lost pace now. We're down to a 4-horse race for this.
We've seen Bibby pit, actually. Bibby's pitted.
Oh, Bibby's pitted, sorry. So that's where
not sure why, but yeah.
That's where the gaps come in there. But yeah, the top 4 doing really, really well. Still really close, actually, Jamie. And although T-Mac made some really good gains early doors, Ayrton Benner's caught him right up. He's well under
really
a second
close
behind him now.
Yeah, my early race prediction of T-Mac just pulling away has not panned out at all. Ayrton Benner's really just sticking right with him. Drux looks like he's got some kind of penalty, so if I just flick that up, he's just a 1 second, so not too bad. Oh, a little spin from here. Yeah, and he's lost a bit of time. Let's jump on with 2nd place. Really close for the lead here.
I'm sure Drux would appreciate you jumping on away from his camera. We always know what happens when you jump on board with Drux.
Well, he did spin immediately then, actually. So,
yeah. But we're on board with Ayrton Benner at the moment. He's in 2nd place. Of course, won the sprint race earlier, which was, of course, just a 10-lap race. We're on a 20-lap race now, so we're halfway through what would have been a sprint race, a quarter way through from what is this feature race. Still plenty of time to go. We're in the cockpit now with Ayrton Benner, who's, again, driving really well in 2nd. A little bit of a slide from T-Mac, and he brushes the wall. That's going to allow Ayrton Benner to catch up, and we can see the distance between the two really getting close now. So a little mistake there from T-Mac, and again, it's opening the door for Ayrton Benner in 2nd, Jamie.
Yeah, absolutely. Just so easy to touch that wall, isn't it? And you just lose a bit of time, and we just don't know what sort of damage he might have got from that. Drux has, unfortunately dropped off with that spin a little bit, but I'm sure he'll be catching back up. But Area Motorsport as well, hanging on less than a second between the top 3 here. Yeah,
fantastic racing on our screens here this evening from these 3, racing really, really well. T-Mac leading the way at the moment in 1st, qualified 1st. Again, we saw a little error there from Area Motorsport, just hitting the wall, so that's going to cost him. You can see the times between the 3 of them now. He's out to over a second. But Ayrton Benner sticking with T-Mac all the way at the moment. But Jamie, you have to say, these last lap times, these boys are regularly clocking up 129s in race conditions.
It's fantastic.
It's fantastic stuff.
Full tanks of fuel, no one else is anywhere near them in terms of pace, so I imagine Drux probably will be when he gets back up there. Mr. Salt made his way back up to 8th, and he's pushing hard for 7th here with Roy Klops, who we know is a very quick driver though, so that could be a difficult one.
Yeah, he's certainly got a race on his hand with Roy Klops. Roy Klops, again, we've got so many good races in this pack. Roy Klops hasn't managed to really attack the top positions, but all the way through this pack we've got some really strong races. So we're looking at the battle for 7th place at the moment, and Roy Klops has got a battle in his hands. Mr. Salt, of course, was in Roy Klops' position on Thursday and was the one fending off the advances, but now the Predator is Mr. Salt this time around, really gunning for Roy Klops in 7th place.
Wonder what that guy in the back was doing there. I thought he was just about to hit the wall, but no, that is the pit lane entrance. Hidden away
pit lane entrance. So these 2 are really going at it for that. But yeah, we're back on board with Ayrton Benner, and you can see these 3 again. It's below a second, split in the top 3 at the moment. Some amazing racing from these 3 in these cars, and we know how difficult this track is with the tight corners and the walls that are, as you can see, just surrounding the track.
Drux has dropped right back now, actually, so he may have had some damage perhaps from one of his incidents, so he doesn't seem to quite be able to keep the lap time pace with these 3 leaders, but still, solid 4th.
Yeah, doing well in 4th, but yeah, you can see from his last lap time he was 2 seconds off the pace of these top 3 at the moment, so he is some way off, and it could give VXR Thrasher the opportunity to start catching him if those lap times continue to drop off. But T-Mac, who, remember, didn't get any points in race 1, so he's going to be gunning for the points here for the 2nd race here of the evening. 25 points up for grabs in this race. He's, of course, leading the championship on 40 points at the moment after winning both races in week 1. But as I say that, it looked like he went into the wall again. He managed to get away with it, but again, that's going to cost him valuable seconds.
Yeah, absolutely. I was thinking, I wonder whether Ayrton Bennett would be more than happy with a first place and a second place tonight and back off and just, just sort of take the second, but he's not got that opportunity because he's got Area Motorsport just right behind him, breathing down his neck. So he's sort of almost been forced to keep attacking T-Mac.
Exactly, yeah. And Ayrton Bennett, remember, wasn't in week 1 at all, wasn't able to make the race. So currently in the standings, he's got no points. So, this could be a really good opportunity to stake his claim for the championship by putting 25 points on the board. As we can see a back marker in front of them having lost the tyre, nudging their way around the track. But yeah, Ayrton Bennett, really good opportunity to get some points on the board. It's 18 points, I believe, for second place this evening. But, an extra 7 points if you win the race, which could be all important come the end of the championships.
Yeah, absolutely. How many races are there in there? How many rounds of the championship?
4 rounds of the championships. This is round 2 or 4.
So halfway.
Still plenty of time to go to get some points on the board. But T-Mac's got to be really happy with his performance so far in 7th place as they cross the line for what is the 8th lap.
Yeah, although I wonder whether he would have expected to be pulling away slightly, but they're still all in the one. Look at those lap times. They're all dead within like a few thousandths of a second of the same lap.
And actually, T-Mac, although there's not a lot in it, T-Mac actually is the slowest out of all 3 of them.
Yeah.
Which just shows how close these guys are getting to each other. Remember, a little error there from Ayrton Bennett, but remember they can. Get a bit of slipstreaming going on in the 2nd and 3rd, so they've got, you could almost say a tiny little bit of an advantage on T-Mac at the moment, just able to maybe eke out a few extra, bits of time. But even so, still some fantastic driving from T-Mac this evening, and it's hard to keep your eyes away from these 3 because, of course, these are the top 3 places in the entire race.
Yeah, there's not too many other battles going on. It's all quite spread out, this race, actually. It's a bit calmer than the first race. We've still got 20 drivers, which is fantastic to see. This is absolutely the only really close battle, but it just happens to be the top 3. What it does do, highlight again, is just how important qualifying is, because this track position here seems king, because it's such a tight circuit. Finding somewhere to overtake seems really tricky. So if you've got that track position, you seem to be able to keep yourself ahead, which is absolutely vital as Area Motorsport goes into the pits.
Area Motorsport taking a bit of a spin, we thought, but actually he was just swinging himself into the pit. So obviously coming in to get himself sorted in some regards. So he's going to lose pace with the top 2, but of course, we could see some pits from them later on in the race. So we're down to a 2-car race at the top of the grid at the moment. Druck's still in 3rd place. He has that minor penalty, of course, but way off the pace at the moment of these boys in 1st and 2nd. So it's T-Mac and Ayrton Bennett going at it. They managed to navigate around that back marker well towards the back end of the last lap and have some clean road ahead of them at the moment. But with the race going on and on, we can start to see now, Jamie, the back markers are going to start coming into play, and hopefully they're going to play ball.
Yeah, well, they seem to be. It's a really good grid, isn't it? As you said earlier, much to Bob's delight, probably the best grid we've ever seen, eh? Hey, Bob. But no, they all seem pretty switched on, don't they? Can I just ask? Sorry, I'm obviously a late comer to this one. Is it a mandatory pit stop?
On
this one.
Good question. I did have all my race notes up for the last one, but unfortunately,
I'm just not sure why he would have pitted otherwise.
This
From
was
3rd,
a frantic,
he was right in there.
Yeah, this was a frantic one. So let me try and find out.
It is. Chat have confirmed it
Chat
is. Yeah,
confirmed
that's
that
why
it
then.
is.
So it's a tactical move going early.
But as you say, that
Ayrton
Bennett has made a move on the inside of T-Mac, and that's some fantastic driving from him. Let's see if we can get a replay of that on your screens now. But that is incredible from Ayrton Bennett to take that in. So we know how tight that corner is, and he's done really, really well. So we should be getting a replay of that move coming up on your screens. But Ayrton Bennett now in 1st place ahead of T-Mac, and some fantastic driving, Jamie.
A great move, but the dark horse now is Area Motorsport, who's gone early with the pits. It's mandatory, we now know. So he's playing the long game, playing the tactical game. If he can get out early with some fresh tyres and put some really quick laps down and not get caught up in the pack, which is the important thing. He's taken a gamble. He was in 3rd of the 3, so he had less to lose, but he could, at the end of the race, after the pit stops, emerge in the lead without having to overtake anyone.
Indeed, yeah. I mean, it's incredible scenes on the stream at the moment as a great move from Ayrton Bennett to take first place. And while that was going on, we've had 2 people subscribe to the channel already. It's Seb Sepik has subscribed for the first time with a tier 1 sub, and Not Benjamin 2010 has subscribed for a 2nd month in a row. So big up those guys. Let's give them a lot of love on the channel this evening for those subscribes as well. So yeah, it is incredible scenes on and off the track at the moment for the Noob Gamer stream, Jamie.
Yeah, and this is what I was just talking about. This is the gamble he's taken. He's taken the early pit stop, got the quicker tyres to try and make up the time with some lap times while the first 2 struggle. But as we've seen, it's hard to overtake. So he's finding himself stuck in the traffic. He needs to be clearing these guys almost as soon as he gets to them if he wants to make this strategy pay.
Yes, Aero Motorsport just in behind Bibby. We saw Bibby make a mistake there, back towards that straight, which has allowed Aero Motorsport to catch up and cleanly take over there. So, just as you said, Jamie, if he's got any chance of trying to get back in this race for the top positions, bearing in mind the other guys still need to pit, he needs to make many, many more overtakes just like that, and that will set him in good stead for the rest of the race.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the average pit time is, but he's 39 seconds off the lead. If anyone in chat could let us know what the sort of rough total pit time is, we can work out how close he's going to be. But he's moving up, and as other people pit, obviously he'll go through the pack a bit. He's a dark horse here. He's one to watch, I think.
Bob Hunt says 1 hour is the average time, but yeah, of course,
1 hour pit stop. He's won it then.
He's won it, yeah. Pit times, of course, are so variable here, depending on damage, depending on what you do with your tyres. Like, it's so hard to tell, but you know, it might be nice to try and work something out. But as Odyssey said, it is a massive pit stop. Of course, Not Benjamin 2010 using the subscriber emote of our Heads Gone emote that is available for our subscribers. And of course, if you're wondering why you should subscribe to this channel, not only does it help us out and help support our channel going forwards, but if you are getting annoyed by Twitch adverts popping up left, right and centre whenever you're watching our stream, subscribers of course get to watch all of Twitch, all of our Twitch streams with no adverts. So a little benefit there as to one of the reasons why subscribing might be a good idea in the future. But any and all support, whether you're just sat at home watching the channel this evening, or whether you want to drop us a follow or maybe a subscribe, whatever you guys feel, we are cool with everything because we love any and all support from our community. So we're on board with Roy Klops. Roy Klops in 8th place at the moment, so just inside the top 10 for the points at the moment. We've spoken about Roy Klops earlier, Jamie. You know, a decent racer, hasn't managed to attack the top 3 in any of our races so far, but still a strong racer in 8th place and attacking Bibby, who's in 7th at the moment.
Yeah, so Area Motorsport managed to get past Bibby, but he's hanging straight right onto the back of it. Oh, and Roy Klops has taken his pit stop actually as we were watching him there.
Oh Christ! Odyssey says 100 subs.
Yeah, I've just seen that. Yeah.
His birthday. I mean, to be honest, Ollie, I'll take 100 subs.
Yeah, I mean that's a decent bit of change, isn't it?
Exactly.
Subs, yeah.
Take a bit of that. Okay. But yeah, we're on board with Bibby and Area Motorsport really going at. Bibby, we know generally on Project Cars 2 has got some really good pace. You know, just off the
really close
of the top 3, but doing well down in 7th. But yeah, we've joined the race back at the top of the pack between T-Mac and Ayrton Benner, and it looks like Ayrton's pitted. So here we go. The race tactics are starting to come into play now, and Ayrton Benner has decided to make a pit while he was in 1st place. So it gives T-Mac the opportunity for some open road ahead of him. And it's going to be really interesting to see what happens between our previous top 3 of Area Motorsport, Ayrton Benner and T-Mac, of course, to see how these differing pit strategies are going to affect the race going forwards. But Area Motorsport making his way past the back marker here really cleanly, in 6th place at the moment. Excuse me, but his lap times, you know, 1:30s at the moment. He's got better lap times than the 5th, 4th, and of course Area Motorsport was in 3rd and 2nd actually.
Here we go, coming down the pit straight.
So Area Motorsport and Bibby putting in some really solid lap times, and it looks like Bibby's going to try and attack him here. So we're keeping on board with this race at the moment. Area Motorsport fending it off at the moment, but Ayrton Benner's coming out of the pits.
He's out.
And he is out. Now, is he ahead?
He's done it.
Is he just ahead of... he's ahead of Mr. Salt and Area Motorsport, so he's managed to do really well to come out of it ahead of there. So he's got a decent lead of it ahead ahead of Area Motorsport, who, if you remember, was third when he pitted, so he decided to go early. But it was really good moves from Ayrton Benner in fourth at the moment. But we should see him start to catch up with Drux and Cheeky One Smack, currently up in third place. So those two doing really well to hold it at the moment. But of course, they will need to pit alongside T-Mac. And Jamie, with 13 out of 20 laps gone, still plenty of time. But who's your money on so far?
Well, I mean, what we've seen there is Aria's tactical gamble didn't work out. He's actually quite far behind now. So we went for the early pit, tried to go for the undercut, but he's 8 seconds behind. So that really hasn't worked out. I think just getting caught in that traffic just killed his lap times. And he wasn't, I know, I was looking at his times, he wasn't able to get back into the 129. So whether it took him a long time to heat the tyres up at the pits, or like Bob's saying, he got stuck in too much traffic, it was a brave move. He had to do it because he was third. And as we're saying, that T-Mac comes in, so he's responding to Ayrton Benner. This will be tight.
Yeah, so T-Mac in the pits now. So we're going to try and keep on board with this now. So Ayrton Benner is coming round the track at the moment, down that straight. So he's actually managed to jump. Has he managed to jump ahead of T-Mac? As T-Mac, you can see there, comes out the pits. And Ayrton Benner just pips T-Mac to the post. So close from those two there. And T-Mac, to be honest, did really well not to fall foul of those pit regulations coming out. He could have easily just tried to pull across and try and make a manoeuvre on Ayrton there, but so points go to Ayrton Benner on that manoeuvre, and he's done really well to pit when he did, because it seems to have paid off, Jamie.
I think he's played an absolute blinder here, so he managed to just make the move on T-Mac, and then rather than waiting to react to T-Mac, he took the initiative. He pitted first. He forced T-Mac's hand. He may not have wanted to pit there, but he had no choice after that to try and keep up with the undercut. And it's worked out well for him. He was only a couple of tenths ahead. He's got a couple of seconds now. So he's played this. He's in the first race and the second race. He's played it fantastically.
Played it fantastically indeed. We did see T-Mac have a little nudge into the wall there as he's going around that corner. That will, of course, cost him some time. Trevor Hump has just joined the stream and says, what has he missed? Jamie, fill him in.
What haven't you missed, Trevor? Welcome, mate. Yeah, Rolf is winning. Rolf is not racing, unfortunately. I would have loved to see that. We've seen some great racing from Ayrton Benner. With the mandatory pit stop, there's been some interesting strategy calls. Area Motorsport tried the early undercut, but it didn't quite work out. He got stuck in traffic. And Ayrton Benner and T-Mac were left out front. Oh, I see. There's someone just sideways there.
Bibby's just managed to take a spin. He was, of course, pushing Area Motorsport in fifth, but that is going to cost him, and he's all over the track at the moment, trying to get his wheels going.
And he's
now in the pits himself. So it gives Area Motorsport, can breathe a sigh of relief on that one. In fourth place at the moment, and the battle for fourth place is probably off now after that little spin there. But we're on board with Ayrton Benner. He's got to get round some back markers at the moment. Hopefully they're going to move out the way and let him pass, because he is, of course, the race leader. And you can see just T-Mac to the back of your screen there, still trying to push, of course. There's still time in this race to go. But we do really need to see this back marker move out the way. He might be costing some time here, but we're on board with Mad Knife. Mad Knife's currently in 13th place, and he's missed the corner entirely. Just manages to creep inside it, but Mad Knife was pushing really well there down in the back places, but has lost his opportunity to overtake. So unfortunate there from Mad Knife. So a good opportunity for him to pass, but unfortunately just missed it there, Jamie.
Yeah, it was. I feel a bit bad now. I cut to him just as he made a big mistake, but I noticed that he was creeping right up on 12th place Burdesang.
So yeah, he manages to get away with not having the attacks on Mad Knife.
Yeah, he's dropped right off now, unfortunately. So that's unlucky for Mad Knife. He was doing well there.
He was doing well indeed. But yeah, we're on board with T-Mac. So T-Mac at the moment, for what's that, like 3 seconds behind Ayrton Benner in second place. But Ayrton Benner is second place at the moment, but Drux, remember, still has to pit. So we still need a pit stop from Drux, and you can see the lap times between them at the moment. Nearly 2 seconds every single lap he's gaining on Drux in first at the moment. All right, he's a good 15 seconds behind him at the moment, but with the pit stop to come and those lap times that they're putting down at the moment, surely it's only a matter of time before before that catch-up happens. But yeah, T-Mac still pushing hard in first place. It's Area Motorsport in fifth, who has picked up a penalty, Jamie. I'm not sure if we can see quickly.
Let's have a quick look. Yeah.
Motorsport. So it's only a second. So a second for a couple of our top races at the moment. So that won't change things too much for Area Motorsport at the moment in fourth. But yeah, we're on board with Cheeky One Smack, doing really well in sixth place. We've not really spoken a lot about Cheeky One Smack this evening. Just in front of him, VXR Thrasher takes a knock into the wall, and it looks like Cheeky One Smack might have the opportunity to attack. Remember, I believe, unless it's just a clash of liveries, I believe these guys are teammates, but I could of course be wrong. I'm just going by the liveries on their cars, but yeah, Cheeky One Smack, and he's done it. So good move there down the outside to take fifth place. So, you know, not spoken a lot about him this evening, but he's doing really well in fifth place, really well inside the points. Only a second penalty on his rap sheet as well, so not going to affect things too much, but he should manage to get ahead of VXR Thrasher now, who's in sixth, and it's Captain Cali just behind them in seventh. So it looks like we could have a little battle there going on into these final few laps, and it looks like Captain Cali's going to have a real go at VXR Thrasher as well.
It does, yeah. And up top, it looks like Drux has gone for the strategy of probably pitting on the last lap. But it's worked out, because if we reckon it's about a 30-second pit window, then he probably was going to come out fourth, which is going to be a great result.
Yeah, that would be a really good result as Captain Cali goes down the outside. He's certainly going to try and get the inside line here on VXR Thrasher. It looks like he's done that. He's managed just to get ahead in front of that corner, and there he goes. So a really good manoeuvre there from Captain Cali. We'll try and bring you a replay of that on your screens, of that fantastic manoeuvre from Captain Cali. So manages to get the pace, get the inside line, and get in the inside of VXR Thrasher to take sixth place. So some great driving from him, and now he's got the opportunity to attack fifth place. So still, as we see a mistake there, so VXR Thrasher, hot off being overtaken, goes straight into the tyre wall. So unfortunate for him, but what it does show, Jamie, is with the race coming down to a close, we've still got battles all the way up and down the pack.
Yeah, I mean, Thrasher's car's looking a bit worse wear there. A few scrapes from his little nudge there, which is interesting. It'd be good to see if Cali now can get straight on the back of Cheeky One Smack, or if sixth is sort of his limit for today.
And Trevor Hunt asking Jamie, damage on, and of course full damage is on this evening in these cars, but actually I've been massively surprised at the amount of damage we've not seen. It's been some really clean racing from people so far.
It was a bit mad at the start of the first race, wasn't it? But since then, I mean, we've still got 19 runners out of, what was it, 22, so we've only lost 3 cars. One of those was I think Seb's case was a technical issue, so that's quite surprising. Not too bad at all, is it?
No, not too bad at all. You know, really surprising. I thought it was going to be absolutely chaos with these walls so close to the track, all the way around the track here this evening. As I said, you know, earlier on in the stream, we had to go in those touring cars, and it was absolute madness. And these, of course, cars are made of, you know, must be the thinnest metal going possible, you know. And they seem to fall apart at the slightest knock. But still, only 3 cars lost in this race in its entirety, and that's really good from everyone so far. But just 2 laps remaining now, and Drux has pitted, so Drux is in the pits. So let's see if Ayrton Benner catches him, and we suspect that he will.
He's already passed, yeah.
So yeah, really, so Drux is probably, as you said earlier, Jamie, probably aiming for around 4th or 5th place. So we'll see how that pans out. But Ayrton Benner managed to get ahead, so doing really well in 1st place, and we should see T-Mac take over him there. So there we go. So T-Mac into 2nd. Drux in 3rd still at the moment, still in the pits at the moment, but I wonder whether he's going to come out ahead of Area Motorsport, who was, of course, in 3rd place. So it could have been a great move from Drux here to nip into 3rd place. I think he will, yeah. So let's keep on board with Area Motorsport here and just see where Drux come. Let's see if we can see him just on the right hand side. We got any little view of him coming out at the moment? We don't know which car he is, but he might be moving. But it looks like he's out the pit. So it looks like Drux has made a really good manoeuvre there to take 3rd place. He's well already ahead of Area Motorsport there. So Drux, of course, you know, we spoke about him earlier in the stream. We know he's got some good pace. He was well behind in 4th place, you have to say, Jamie, after taking a few little knocks and a few little mistakes. But he's done really well throughout this race to get ahead of Area Motorsport with some good pit strategy there.
Well, it seems like Area Motorsports' early pit gamble really has cost him. I mean, it was a brave move at the time. I thought it could work out, but just getting stuck in that traffic when everyone else was out front doing clean, quick laps, it's cost him. And he's a good 6 seconds now behind the podium positions, which is a real shame. It seems like up front, T-Mac might have settled for second. What do you think, Ryan? He doesn't seem to be pushing.
You never like to say he's settled for second place, but I mean, you can see the times flying down. I wonder whether T-Mac's had some sort of mistake or error or something there, unless Ayrton Bennett's just absolutely gunning for it, because when I flicked over a minute ago, he was a lot closer than that, around the 4-second mark behind, but while I was speaking about T-Mac, it's gone all the way up to nearly 5-6 seconds. So I wonder if he's had a little mistake there. But yeah, as you said, settled probably isn't the right word, but just because of the performance of Ayrton Benner in first, I don't think he's got a lot of choice here.
You know what I mean? He's probably quite happy, especially considering what happened in the first race. Second is a great result still. He'd be disappointed, but he's playing it safe because, as we've seen, if you just nip the wall, it can ruin your race. And so all of a sudden he's fifth. So he's probably keeping this second place nice and safe.
Yeah, exactly right. I mean, we are on the last lap now, so we will see Ayrton Benner cross the line in first place unless anything crazy happens. Currently 5 seconds ahead. He's managed to get round a back marker there, so he's got some open road ahead of him as he makes his way round for this final lap. But I mean, overall this evening, Ayrton Benner, a fantastic evening for him. Winning both races and qualifying really highly in both as well.
Yeah, I mean, you said you've never seen him race before, but here he comes onto the final straight to take 100% win record for his participation. You can't ask for any more than that.
No,
congratulations.
So 40 points in the bag for Ayrton Benner from week 2 here this evening. As we said earlier, he wasn't involved in week 1, so I really didn't know a lot about him coming into this stream at all, but he's proved us all completely wrong. We thought it's going to be T-Mac and the boys that we're used to all over, but shocked the pack entirety, and Ayrton Benner taking away this evening with wins in race 1 and race 2. But as the closing stage of this race come in, we might have a battle here, although as I say that, Captain Callie
Cheeky's got a 1 second penalty.
But there is that 1 second penalty. You are exactly
just
right,
needs to stay within a second.
I wonder whether he's going to aim to do that. Let's see into this final little bit.
So close.
So close. Oh, is he going to do it? Oh, I don't think he has. I don't think he's managed to keep on. I think Captain Callie might just get into 5th place there by an absolute whisker. Captain Callie a little bit messy around those final corners and nearly cost himself 5th place, but that penalty is going to cost Cheeky One Smack in 5th, and he will see him drop a place down into 6th. But not sure what's going on in the chat, but there is some talk of people wearing Speedos, so those boys are having a great time in the chat together this evening. But yeah, there we go. Race 2 over. Odyssey is saying he called it. I mean, I didn't see him say Ayrton Benner at all, so I'm just going to put that out there. But here we go. Here's confirmation of our final place of this evening. So it's Ayrton Benner in 1st, T-Mac 2nd, Drux in 3rd, Area Motorsport 4th, Cheeky One Smack in 5th. So it doesn't look like he did it in the end. Yeah, Captain Callie in 6th, VXR Thrasher 7th, Mr. Salt in 8th, Roy Klops in 9th, and YX takes 10th place, which is really good for him. Further down the pack, we got Don Titor, who only made 11th in the end. We got Mad Knife 12th, Birdesung 13th, and Vertigo 14th, Berserker 15th, Higgs Boson in 16th, Sin 17th, Langalang 18th, Roughneck 1 in 19th, Bibby all the way down in 20th, actually retired from the race, and Seb H in lap 1. We know he had some computer issues this evening, and of course retired early doors. So that is race 2 complete this evening. It's Ayrton Benner with the win this evening. Some fantastic driving from him. And he'll be absolutely delighted with that as we head back to the studio. So thank you for joining us this evening. That is race 2 complete, but stick around with us as we will be trying to get some reaction from the races that you've seen going around the track this evening. And of course, we might well go on one of our legendary raves towards the end of it as well. But Jamie, sum up that race for us. A really, really good spectacle.
Yeah, it was a really interesting tactical battle, actually, which we haven't seen too many of. They tended to be a bit more frantic, but with those different pit strategies, it really brought it out, and they had to be, they had to stay calm, and the top two guys did a great job. T-Mac will be slightly disappointed, but still, considering the first race, I think he'll be happy to get back up onto the podium. But what can we say about Ayrton Benner? Just absolutely fantastic, both races.
Yeah, some really good racing from these guys, and as we've said plenty of times, these cars are so fragile, and to not see many crashes, and these guys have some really clean racing throughout. I'm blown away almost by some of the racing we've seen this evening. Not only were the boys putting down some really quick times, but to do it so cleanly as well, is really impressive, you have to say.
Absolutely impressive, yeah. Is Ayrton Benner available for an interview? Do we know?
I'm just going to have a look now. So it looks like not many people are sticking around. I don't know whether there's maybe there's some post-race drinks we've not been invited to, but it doesn't look like many people are sticking around to chat.
That seems likely.
Yeah, it does seem likely. Let's drop into some of our other channels and see if anyone else around. So we might be able to get some reaction from some of the races this evening. Unfortunately, it won't be from the top of the pack. Because those boys, again, we don't get invited to these post-race parties and drinks. That seems to happen, unfortunately. But what we can do is see if we can bring in Mr. Salt by switching over our allegiance from the Steam chat to Discord ever so briefly. And we'll go and jump in one of the channels over in Discord and see if we can grab a word as we head over for some post-race reaction now. So I've joined the Discord channel now. We are in the Team Wolfie channel of all places, and we're going to try and bring in Mr. Salt just to see if we can get his reaction from the race that we've just seen. Mr. Salt, how are you this evening?
I'm good. Sorry, I was just finishing my dinner that I didn't finish before starting the race, so I've just cleared my mouth of chicken.
No worries at all. Generally, happy with that?
I'm really happy with that. Yeah. Last week was all right, but I didn't do anything in the feature race. Try to get back to the points. So yeah, this week was definitely an improvement on that, and had some good racing with Roy Klops at the start. He definitely has more pace than me. But yeah, just kept it on the track, and so many people didn't, and that's the key to it. But both starts were just full on as well in both races, and I was quite lucky to get through with no damage on both of them. But yeah.
Did you get caught up in the roundabout?
Yeah, I did. I was in
that.
I literally, I literally put the handbrake on. I'm not going. I can't go anywhere until you guys sort yourself out. And that put me at the 17th, 17th at the time, and managed to get it back to 8th. I think I finished. So yeah, happy with that. But it's what we all expected, and obviously there's going to be mega unhappy people, but I'm pretty chilled with that. Pretty happy. It's good.
Yeah, good work. I mean, we see a big difference in the cars from the touring cars to these Formula rookies. Just talk us through how different these cars are to what we see on a Thursday night.
How different they are. They're better on brakes. You can tell they're much lighter. You can throw them into the corners, which is similar to touring cars, but it's just the weight. They just feel heavier. The touring cars feel heavier, sorry. But they're fun, but you obviously just can't take the risks in these cars, whereas you can be a little bit more risky in touring cars. Taking risks in these cars just doesn't pay off. So many wheels get tangled, wheels come off, and you're out the race. So, yeah, I've always said just, it's a 20-lap race. It's not all on one corner. So yeah.
Well, you've got to be happy with the double point scoring finish for the two races. But the most important question I think everyone in the chat is going to want to know, what exactly are you having for dinner?
I made a chicken and chorizo jambalaya with creme fraiche on top.
Oh, he's even a classy guy in the kitchen as well as the track, right?
I'm about to go get seconds as well.
Lovely stuff.
Fantastic.
Well, we'll leave you to go and get seconds, but thank you for joining us for some post-race reaction. Well done, really good performance there, and of course we will see you again. Not this Thursday, of course, because we're not streaming this Thursday, but we'll see you again on Sunday, I'm sure. Yeah, definitely. Thank you for having me. No worries. Cheers, mate. Enjoy. See you later. Bye-bye. Bye. So that was Jamie reaction from Mr. Salt, and he's delighted with his performance so far.
Yeah, and it sounds like, as Odyssey's just pointed out, he's delighted with his snazzy food. Great word.
Snazzy
Cheers,
food
Odyssey.
indeed.
No, he did really well.
Yeah, really well. Let's have a look and see what's going on the chat. So Rob says, great stream, guys. Thank you very much to Rob. Mr. Salt Gaming, good race. We've, of course, just spoken to Mr. Salt. It looks like Bob Hump's left us for the evening, but thank you for joining us this evening. Seb Sepik says, congratulations to Ayrton Benner and T-Mac. Great racing. Of course, he lost his ability to compete this evening through some technical issues, and of course he went out on race 1, which he is gutted about. Mad Knife is just pleased to finish. We might better grab a quick word with Mad Knife. He is knocking around, of course. And Cheeky One Smack just says, evening, gents. He must be delighted with his finish this evening. Cheeky One Smack in 5th place, did really, really well. Didn't actually speak about him a lot throughout the stream, but managed to sneak his way up the pack into 5th, almost unknown. So did really, really well from him. And Alpaniki001 just says, fucking walls. So I can only assume he was a racer this evening with a slightly different name to what he has on here compared to Steam, but obviously not happy with the walls surrounding him. But as we have a few people knocking around, and of course we did see Mad Knife just say he was pleased to finish, let's bring him in for some post-race reaction with Mad Knife to see how he found the race. So Mad Knife, are you with us?
Evening, boys. Yeah, I'm here.
Hello,
how you
mate.
doing?
We're very well. How did you find that?
Oh, it was awful. I had really good pace, but yeah, just being involved in that first roundabout collision screwed me up for the rest. But a good recovery to 12th, I think. I'm reasonably happy with that. Shame I couldn't quite get in the points.
Yeah, we cut to you in that second race about halfway through, just as you were closing on 12th, I think. And we cut to you. We're thinking, this is it. He's going to make a great move. And just as we cut to you, you went what? You braked too late in corner 1 and went into the runoff area. And it's like, oh
yeah,
sorry about that. Yeah, commentator's curse, I think.
Yeah, I got distracted talking to Salty. That was the problem.
Oh, it's always Salty's fault, isn't it?
Yeah, it's all Salty's fault. But I couldn't hold off Don Tito on that last lap. He had me on the last lap, and I just couldn't. I couldn't hold it back. He's too quick. But
now, of course, switching attentions to the Thursday night championships, we will, of course, be seeing that Long Beach track as well being utilised in that championship. So, that track in its entirety with those walls either side is a really, really difficult track to drive in, isn't it?
it is. It's tough, and in some respects, it's better in the touring cars because they're a little bit more protected. These machines, their wheels are so exposed, you can damage the suspension so easily and rip a wheel off, and you've just got no chance. And it's a really tricky track to drive with such a varied, even with really well-behaved drivers. There's no way you can get more than 1.5 cars around that roundabout at once. So there was always going to be a coming together there. But I'm hoping the touring car one will be a little bit less eventful, especially for those of us who've done a load of laps now in the rookies. But it is a completely different.
Is that an early call for a podium position for yourself, Matt?
No, not in any way. Not with who's in the championship this time.
Yeah. But are you looking forward to it?
Yeah, it'll be good. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It'll
Great.
be it'll be really good.
Good. That's like what we like to hear. But yeah, thank you for joining us for a little bit of reaction to the race this evening. Well done again. Managed to finish the race, which we know you're very pleased about, let alone coming in a decent position as well. And we will, of course, see you on Sunday for race 3 of the Formula Rookie Championship. So enjoy the rest of your evening.
Cheers. Thanks, guys.
No
Cheers,
worries.
Kev. Bye.
Enjoy. So there we go. That was reaction from Mad Knife. We've heard from Mr. Salt. We've heard from Mad Knife there. Let's head back to the studio and wrap up what we've seen this evening. So here we go, back in the studio. You've heard from a couple of the drivers this evening. Race 1 won by Ayrton Benner. Race 2 won from Ayrton Benner. Some fantastic driving from him this evening. Some really clean racing overall, although it sounds like we might have missed 1 or 2 little scrapes that a few people aren't too happy with. But generally on our screens, we saw some really good racing, Jamie. And overall, I'd say a really enjoyable night.
Yeah, absolutely. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was a nice surprise for me to get involved last minute, and I'm really glad I did. Thank you very much.
No worries. And as we were just talking there, Roy Klops has joined the fray with subscribe to the channel for the very first time.
Beautiful.
which is amazing. We've really been blown away. We started this channel, we wanted to mess around and have a bit of racing fun, and actually it's turned into something where we've built a fantastic community of people watching us every time we stream, every Thursday and every Sunday. The viewership's been going up, we've been getting subscribers, we're getting more followers. It's been amazing, and of course we've just got to thank you guys for sticking with us. We try our best to make our streams as good as we can, try and polish it up and make it as glitzy and glamorous as we can, and try and make it you are choosing to spend your evening with us for some entertainment, and thank you for doing so. Big love from all the noob gamers for everyone's support, whether you're just watching, subscribing or following. So big love there. But of course, there is one more question on the lips this evening, Jamie, and that is, are we going to go raiding? What do you think the answer is?
Oh, of course we are. I don't know if Rob's still in the Twitch chat with us, but we know he's a massive fan of a raid.
He's a massive fan of raid. So please let us know in the next minute or so. We'll leave it open for the time being. Drop in if you want to go raiding tonight. Of course, we cannot raid without you guys sticking with us. So if you want to see a raid this evening, drop the word raid into the chat now, and we will go and try and raid. If we get a raid confirmed, we can then start looking at the sort of channels we can go and see. So Jamie, for those of you, if they're new to the channel, what can you expect from a raid?
Well, this is where we try and jump on board with someone else. Normally someone who's only got a couple of people watching, give them a nice little boost. The question for you is, as I always ask, are we going to go for a slightly out of the ordinary one, or are we going to go for sort of a more typical gaming one?
Well, we of course asked the question to the viewers last time, Jamie, and they went for a gaming stream. So if you want to see a gaming stream this evening, put the word gaming, and we will be doing a stream now. We can confirm that. So stick around with us for this raid. If you want to see a gaming one, put gaming. If you want to see a chat one, put chat. And of course, when I say chat, the Just Chatting channel on Twitch is absolutely mental. We've seen people doing some art, we've seen people opening Pokemon cards, we've seen all sorts of things. So of course the Just Chatting channel can throw up anything. But let us know on the chat whether you want to go for a gaming channel this evening, or we want to go for a Just Chatting channel. And we will of course go and find something to go and look at. So we'll leave it for about 30 seconds to a minute. Let's see how many votes we get for either types of raid this evening, and then we'll get it going and close the stream down for the evening. But once again, thank you for joining us. Jamie, your moment of the night, what would you say that would be?
I think perhaps not one moment, but the second race generally, I really enjoyed the different strategies at play and waiting to see which one was gonna work out the best.
Yeah, some fantastic strategies. We saw Area Motorsport trying to go early, didn't quite pay off. Drux went late, managed to get him a third place, and Ayrton Benner seemed to go just at the right time to take first place. So it was really good from him.
Yeah, we got one vote for gaming from Odyssey.
At all. Well,
so
we'll call it there, shall we? Why not? Let's call it there. And of course, we have had a lot of love from other streamers on the channel this evening, so we're going to pay that love back and go and join one of the Zexy Gaming crew, who of course try and support our channel when they can with their Discord channel and their Twitter. They managed to give us a shout out a little bit, and it's a new game I've not heard of myself. It's called Atlas. It looks like some sort of pirate game. It's slowly jumping the ranks on Twitch, and it's Texican Olive who has come on the channel, shown us some love, even dropped us some bits in the past. So we're going to go and basically go and raid him, Jamie. So we're going to go and see what Texican Olive is up to this evening. But
okay.
As we get that raid going, hopefully you guys can stick around for that raid and show Texican Olive a lot of love, because he's shown it to us on our channel. But Jamie, anything last minute to say to the viewers who have joined us this evening?
No, just the normal. Thanks very much for coming along. Hope you've enjoyed it as much as we have, and look forward to the next one.
Indeed, yeah. Now remember, we're not here on Thursday. Unfortunately, we're not here on Thursday, but we will be back on Sunday to bring you race 3 of the Formula Rookie Championships before race 2 comes the Thursday after from the Noob Gamers Championship. So we won't be streaming this Thursday, but we'll see you again on Sunday night for race 3 of the Formula Rookie Championships. Once again, really appreciate everyone's support here this evening on the Noob Gamers channel. Whether you've just sat at home and watched, whether you subscribed, whether you've followed, whether you've just been getting involved in the chat, however you've contributed to us this evening, we really appreciate you. Once again, thank you very much for joining me in the commentary box, Jamie.
Thank you very much. Pleasure.
And of course, the pleasure was hopefully all the viewers this evening, as we, we brought you another stream there this evening. But thank you for joining us. We're going to go raiding now, and we'll see you again next Sunday. Thank you very much.